Dearest 33-year-old, whose parents are emotionally blackmailing and manipulating you to get married into a family which wants you to quit working after marriage, and your prospective spouse does not earn much and is unambitious and not going to support you in your ambitions, and may well have mother issues, be it love or hate. Dearest, I'm so sorry to inform you, but I don't think your parents care about you at all. They just care about marriage. This is a big, bitter pill to swallow, and it goes against everything you've been taught to believe. For instance, that parents only want the best for you. In fact, they may well want the worst for you, because what they really want the best for is the institution of marriage. Otherwise, why would they be arranging and forcing you into a compromising situation by way of tears and sighs and threats that your father will have a heart attack? And do you want your mother to be a widow? No doubt, it is very hard to accept that one's parents care more for marriage than for your happiness, but too many Pakistani parents are like this. Those whose parents are not like this have hit the jackpot. Dearest, it is no longer 1985 or 1995. Please kindly tell your parents to marry the person they've chosen for you themselves. You lead your own life, and if possible, get out. You were not put on earth to please your marriage-obsessed parents who, once you're married and miserable, will 1. Blame your kismet, 2. Advise and urge and finally emotionally blackmail and manipulate you to compromise, 3. Recommend you have child after child after child, with the caveat that apparently these children are going to make you happy, save your marriage, and do all the other miraculous things that children and the birth of children are supposed to do in Pakistani culture. And 4, say you weren't wife material to begin with. You were always unmarriageable. These 4 things, and perhaps many more, you will get to hear from your parents, from your culture, from society. Your misery will be your fault. Your misery will always be your fault, because they will take zero responsibility for forcing you into marriage. Accept that your parents care less for you and more for marriage. Marriage is their dream child, and you are the real child who will make their dream come true. Dearest, take a deep breath. Step away. Better to divorce yourself from the way they think than later struggle to divorce a spouse you may well have several kids with, who may well now inherit their own damage, which will also be blamed on you. Are your parents bad people? Probably not. But they are probably very eager to be part and parcel of good society, and to be considered valuable members of this good society, and desire becomes their whole identity, no matter how many holes they have to dig in order to fit into this role. No matter how many holes they have to dig into their daughter's, your soul. This is of course part and parcel of a culture called What Will People Say? A culture which cares about a good reputation above all else, and a good family with a good reputation makes sure its daughter marry within the right age. This correct age by which to marry can fluctuate, but there will always be a correct age, a correct cut-off age, and if you cross that cut-off age, then people will have a lot to say, and none of it good. And this will shame your parents and you. You will have brought shame on them by not being married in time, and this means they, in society, are bad parents, and you should be ashamed for not making them look good. Your parents will tell you that. them wanting you to get married is actually for your own good, because it will protect you from shame. Dearest, the shame of you being in a less than ideal marriage is much, much less than the shame of people saying that you have not fulfilled your duty to them and they have not fulfilled their duty to you in getting you married off. Your parents see marrying you off as their duty, and no matter if it isn't a job well done, it can be a terrible job, but at least the duty is done. Dearest, this is where you have to stand up and stop seeing yourself as a duty. You are not a duty, you are a daughter. You are not a duty, you are a daughter. You are a daughter who deserves to live life in contentment, and a marriage under duress is not a risk worth taking. Your parents can be wrong. Your parents do not always have the experience to navigate current day requirements and may well be extremely emotionally immature and not even be able to recognize their immaturity. This is where, dearest, you have to be mature for yourself and stand up and speak and say no. Of course, this is so much easier said than done in a culture where you've been taught and encouraged to do the opposite, which is to always say yes, whether something is in your best interest or no. Forced marriages in traditional cultures don't take place at gunpoint any longer. They take place through emotional blackmailing and manipulation. No, you will not be emotionally blackmailed or manipulated into marriage anymore. And on another note, neither should your brother, the son, your parents' son, whose duty it is to earn, be coerced into a career or job he never wanted. However, the difference is that your brother can get out of a mismatched, unfulfilling job and or career far more easily than you can exit a mismatched, unfulfilling marriage. Dearest, your parents may well say that a person like me who gives such advice is an enemy. But you know what? Decide for yourself, as you must in everything in life. I am not against marriage, but I do caution very strongly against marriage for simply the sake of marriage, which is so often the case in our culture and promoted by parents and society. Dearest, don't end up like so many daughters who gave in to their parents' tears and sighs and threats and are now stuck in a system that does everything to keep them trapped, you trapped. And it's acceptable if your spirit has died, as long as you keep serving chai again and again and again, chai after chai after chai. Yes, it is better to be unmarried and merry than married and miserable. Marriage for the sake of marriage is a system which must stop. Sincerely, Alice from Unmarriageable, the novel.